We are live. Woo-wee. We give some folks a few seconds to get in, and we will be on fire. How's the sound? Pretty good? You can hear me? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Let's see. Nice. Coolio. You got a couple of people already have joined us. Don't see any names yet. Let's see. We looking good. I want to say good evening to those who have joined us. That's Regina Cargile. Good evening, good evening. Don Callahan, good evening to you, Don. You can't get any audio, Don Callahan? Regina, can you hear audio? Can you hear us at all? Uh-oh, Denise George, a.k.a. Booby Boo. All right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Hope you guys can hear us. We want to wait about another few more, probably about another 10 seconds before we start getting busy. We're going to fire you guys up, man. You guys are going to get some information that you did not know exist. You did not know was so easy, accessible to you. So you guys can hear me. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, just say you can hear. Okay, good, good. All right, guys, let's get started. If it's going to be, it's up to me to fulfill my dreams and possibilities with dedication and motivation to inspire thousands from all nations. When times are tough, it breaks you down. Just smile with toughness and rebuild from the ground. During tough times, adversity is a lot. Just remember, time flies, but you are the pilot. Good evening, folks. This is Jay Lee here. You guys know who I am. Every Monday, we have our Monday Motivational Power Talk at 9 p.m. each and every Monday. We got something very, very in store for you that is special. And want to give you a quick announcement that next Monday, we will have Candace Camille, who is the wellologist, and she's going to talk about being a healthy entrepreneur. What's good is building wealth if you don't have good health. So we're going to have the wellologist to join us next Monday night on our Monday Motivational Power Talk. She's going to share some information about your diet, the type of exercises you can do that help your certain situations, whether it's diabetes, cancer, all kinds of stuff, folks. So you don't know who you know that might be sick and not telling you that they're sick, but you might be able to point it out and say, hey, man, let me get you some help naturally. We're not talking about taking pharmaceuticals and all that kind of stuff that's going to give you side effects that's cause more problems. You guys know what I mean. I'm not going to go into the quick, big details on it, but next Monday we will touch on that, because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to be healthy, because the world needs you, folks. The world needs you. So also another announcement that tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., you guys know I'm live on my personal page, not on this page. This is my business page. But on my personal page, I also go live every Monday when I take my walk, because I need to have somebody to talk to when I'm walking, get my exercise in. Remember, healthy entrepreneurs, right? So, hey, I'm staying healthy, making sure I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do for my body so that I can stay healthy, so I can keep feeding you guys all this great information. So I'm not going to talk too much, guys. You know me. I like to talk, especially on Monday Motivational Power Talk. But I have somebody who's going to do a better job than I do when it comes to knowing about your money, knowing where to put your money, and knowing how to make your money work for you. I'm not the guy that you want to get that information from, but I did get someone who is definitely qualified, who is licensed to share the information that you're going to be learning today. So without further ado, I want you, well, let me do this. Let me just tell you who she is. Her name is Janina Wright. It's spelled Janina. Some people, if you're American, you probably say Janina Wright, but the proper pronunciation of the name is Janina Wright. And that sounds better to me anyway. I like to say Janina Wright. But ladies and gentlemen, Janina Wright is an MBA. Okay. She also she's licensed. She's a licensed financial professional, and she's also a veteran. So we love to support our veterans. I have a deep, deep passion for our vets, and we got to make sure we do right by our veterans, man. So we also want to thank her for the service that she has been providing to the United States, to all of us here as citizens of the United States. So I'm sorry I don't have any music in the background to do the national anthem and everything, but it's from the heart. It's from the heart. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you Janina Wright.
Hello, good evening, everyone. So yes, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about money. And I know there's some major concerns. Most people feel like they need to have money to actually set money aside. That's not really true. You got to work with what you got. You guys hear me? All right, nice. And hello. So the best way you can work with what you got is just assess where you're spending your money. Just reappropriate your funds. A lot of times people are focusing on paying their bills first, then they spend the excess, and then the rest is what they save and set aside. But at that time, when they set aside a little bit at the end, sometimes there's not enough money. You know, there's more month than money, as we call it. So the main focus is reprioritize. It's really easy. Live within your means, of course, but always purchase what you need, not what you want. And then what we like to do is just recommend for you to shop around to lower your expenses, such as try to reduce your phone bill, try to get low interest rates on your cars, car loans, or just regular loans, insurances as well. So we help you reduce some of your insurances as well. And some people don't even think about it. I mean, you probably have been with the same company for so many years that you forget to shop around, but you do it with shoes and jewelry and everything else. So why not do it with your finances? Always get that second opinion. Another thing is, if you have a financial advisor, just take a look and see if your advisor is an agent or a broker. So the difference is an agent focuses on products that they have in their portfolio, where a broker focuses on products that service you. They can shop around. So there's a little difference, you know, that people are just not familiar with. And then always use a strategy where it benefits you. If you're paying somebody to manage your money and they're actively losing your money, go and get that second opinion. And a lot of times people are very loyal because it's a friend of a friend or a family member that recommended them, but you got to be loyal to yourself. You know, take care of yours and your family first. So that's always key. So that's what, it's easy. Just work with what you got and try to live in your means. And then once you have a little extra cash, that's when we recommend on you implementing some different types of strategies. Most people are very familiar with the banking strategies, where they leave a lot of money or their savings in a bank account, typically a saving where you're getting 0.5%, which is not even keeping up with inflation, right? Or you're also investing in CDs because that's all you know. But there's so many other opportunities. You know, in the United States, there's only 17 states that require to get financial education as a high school student. So when you're walking out the door, you're already undereducated on how to manage your finances. But that's a heavy responsibility of your life for the rest of your life. So some of the strategies we show are a little bit different than just the traditional banking. As you know, people like to invest in real estate, but you need a little bit of cash for that. But what we like to focus on is low risk strategies. So index strategies, most people are not familiar with. And it takes the best of, say, the stocks or funds available, and it grabs the averages. So the index strategies are very lucrative for an average person who likes to save and invest and keep the risk low. But of course, if you have money, go ahead and play the stock. And if you are not concerned about risk, that's an opportunity as well. Many wealthy, that's what they do. They do invest in the indices or index, but not many people are familiar. So we like to educate people on that. Just open up the door for you. And then also, as I mentioned before, most people are very familiar with the banking strategies. You know, they keep everything in the bank. They get very low interest when they're saving on their money, but then they end up getting higher interest when they borrow money. So, for example, your car loans, you're probably paying maybe 3 to 7% on a car loan versus when your savings or checkings, maybe you're getting 0.5%. So you're actively losing money if you're borrowing more than what you're setting aside. Not only that, but credit card loans, that's another one. It jumps up to like 29. I've seen somebody who had 34% interest rate off the credit card loans. So that's something that people are actively borrowing from the bank, but they're not setting any money aside. So you've got to make sure that your money is working hard for you and you're keeping up with inflation. And just keep in mind, the biggest buildings in any major cities are banks. So if you don't have all that money in your pocket, they sure are using it. So consider that. Always invest in yourself first. Student loans. Student loans is a big one too. So there's a conception that people are keeping up with inflation, but in actuality, student loans are probably doubling more than any other debt that we have out there. Right now, I just actually looked it up, and it was almost $5 trillion of student loans in debt right now, which is significant. I mean, I'm sure you know somebody who's pursuing a degree and is heavily in debt. And then now, when they get out, they're going to have to pay that student loan. And a lot of people end up going on default. And what happens is, say that 3 to 7% that you were originally getting, it jumps up because they defaulted on the loan. So you got to consider cutting down those costs. And sometimes self-education is the best education. You know, our country was built by entrepreneurs that flunked out of high school and colleges. I'm not saying go drop out, but what I'm saying is teach yourself those skills as well. A lot of leaders learn from themselves. You know, obviously you leverage the people that you know and tap their knowledge. Always try to get free knowledge too. That's what I always recommend. The other thing is people are familiar with, like I said, stocks and bonds. So a lot of the wealthy invest on stocks and bonds, but you've got to know what you're doing. And if you're not familiar how that works, go with the safest. Go with what you know. That's why we always recommend the indexes. And tax codes. So tax codes, people are not aware that there's 3 different types of tax strategies. The first one we always mention is the tax now, where you pay again on any growth. And not just the bank, but even it's for CDs and stocks as well. And then another strategy that people are not familiar with is the deferred strategy, right? So a lot of the retirement plans, a lot of the 401ks, they allow you to put money away for the future, but then you pay taxes in the future. So you consider with the $1 trillion debt of student loan and then a national deficit, right now it's at 17.5 trillion. Taxes most likely will go up. I can't, don't take my word for it, but because we're so much in debt and the nation is heavily in debt, that's a most probable. So you've got to consider if you're putting your money aside now, not paying taxes, and intend on paying taxes later, what's your tax bracket going to be? So assessing that is also key to financial planning. And then the other one is you pay your taxes now and then not again. So most are familiar with the Roth IRA. That's a big one where people are paying taxes now and then deferring it. I mean, letting that money grow and then you don't pay taxes. So that's a good benefit, but there's some caps. You get the good with the bad, right? You can only contribute so much into the Roth. So the other one is municipal bonds, and then also they have cash accumulation insurance as well. And most people who are adverse to insurance, you've got to consider that though the banks are the biggest industry out there, they're backed up by the FDIC. So that's the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. And if the banks are investing on the insurance corporation, why don't you? You know, and so that's a little strategy that we educate people on, other ways of getting greater returns. And these indexes that I mentioned before, on the average, they've been 10% since 1994. We have some companies that the percentages have been much greater than that. So it depends on, you know, which company you go with. But always shop around. Like I said, just compare. Thank you, Diane. She's all in it. Are you taking notes, Diane?
You always do.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing is, at the end of the day, the tax codes were devised for the business owners. You know, the employee is pretty much paying the brunt of all the taxes, but the business owners, they know how to write off and then do those tax deductions. And it's not because they're any smarter, it's because they're getting advice. So advice from a lawyer, a CPA, and a financial planner is the key. You know, it encapsulates everything, where you're leaving your legacy behind to your family, not just, you know, to probate or the government. But also a lot of the businesses, you don't have to have a major corporation. Some people can establish an LLC and start benefiting off these tax deductions themselves. So that's another opportunity where the individual can take advantage of reducing their taxable income. Because most business owners, what they're doing is they're getting income and then they're paying bills and then they're paying taxes last. Where the employee, we're paying taxes up front and then we're paying our bills. So just, you know, think or have that mindset of the entrepreneur mindset of how I can reduce my taxable income. And there's so many ways, but always seek good advice. And I always recommend to get a second opinion because sometimes the first opinion is good, but you know, you always want to compare. I mean, just like a health check, right? You always want to get that second opinion. So that's a quick rundown of what I have to offer. Are there any questions?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Janina Wright, please type them in and the both of us can see them. I'll acknowledge you and she can acknowledge you. I do have a few questions of my own that I'd like to ask.
Okay.
You covered a little bit of it, but how can you actually make money work for you?
Okay. Yes, that's right, Diane. With an LLC, you control everything, you own nothing. Thank you.
Asset protection.
And that was a part of it, what I discussed. I did touch on it, is just making sure that you're observing your debt, reducing your debt, and also monitoring your money. As I mentioned before, you can call creditors and start reducing your interest rates. A lot of people don't even bother calling because they don't even think of that's an option, but absolutely, you can actually work with your creditors and see if they can reduce your interest rate, because that ultimately puts more money into reducing the debt. And that's one way. Another way is also reducing any additional expenses, unnecessary expenses. I'm not saying change your lifestyle, but sometimes people tend to buy things they don't need to please people they don't like, you know? And so please yourself, please your family, know what your priority is, and then just handle it, because at the end of the day, no one's going to take care of you but you. If you're waiting on Social Security to kick in for you, there's a wake-up call. There's so many people right now trying to get, I learned about Fortune bills. Thank you, Diane. And we got to talk. So there's so many people depending on Social Security, but what they don't know is the average Social Security check is about $1,400. So if you can live on that, that's fantastic on you. But a lot of people are not, because of all the physical ailments. You they're coming out of pocket for medical expenses. Another thing is medical expenses. I know that a lot of the benefits are offered through your employer, but you may want to see if there's other options if you are self-employed, and just shop around. Sometimes, like I said, people just are stuck in a rut and throw that money away and they don't even look. I mean, I had somebody who just threw money into a retirement plan, and I asked them, I said, do they match? They didn't know. So it's nice if you educate yourself, because you're only benefiting you. Okay.
Are there any books that you will recommend?
Oh my gosh. They're on my floor right now. I got a whole bunch of books. Hold on, let me get some for you. It's so funny.
So folks, you see the importance of the money game, and the money game is serious. It's not something to be taken lightly, especially for those who have kids, man. Just listen, your insurance alone is not going to cut it when you go. You gotta build an empire. You gotta build a legacy. You gotta let your money work for you. Learn how to do that. That's what Janina Wright is here to share with us this evening. So take advantage of it. If you have questions, folks, make sure you type in your questions so we can get your questions answered. There is no such thing as dumb questions, because money is very, very complicated. Trust me. It's complicated just like taxes. So don't be afraid to ask questions, man. Please ask. This is why I'm doing this, folks. I'm doing this for you. This is not about me. Ask questions.
Okay.
So she's going to share a couple of books that she has. Oh, yeah. What did I talk about earlier today, folks?
That's a good book.
I just mentioned that book earlier today to you all.
Boom. Here we go. Read it. Okay, the next one is
another book.
Look before you learn.
Wow.
Okay, it talks about retirement tax strategies, or tax-free strategies. Retirement tax-free strategies. People don't know about that.
Wow.
Money. Here we go. Money, wealth, life insurance. So like I said, if you don't like life insurance, but you like the banks, well, guess what? They like them. So you got to know why.
Wow.
The next one I like is, let's see, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. So here we go. Okay.
Wow.
So most people think, I hate sales, but at the end of the day, you're selling yourself. When you go buy something, you're trying to convince them that you're eligible for something. When you're dating and you land this hot woman or hot man, you're selling yourself. So at the end of the day, life revolves about sales, not necessarily, cash transactions, but it's reality. You're always selling yourself. You're selling yourself to a job. You're selling yourself to people. You're always trying to market yourself. That's why marketing is so huge right now. All these blogs and social medias, people are selling themselves. Okay. Another one is never give up on your dreams. So people always give up on their dreams because somebody tells them, oh, that's not going to work. And then people believe it. When you're a child, you're always thinking larger than life. But when you're an adult, you just give up. Sometimes you just got to keep going. And the crazy part is the most silliest things are the most successful. Those fidget spinners. I mean, who would have thought those fidget spinners would have taken off, but man, had I thought about that, I would have been loaded. And maybe it's a phase, but at this point, it doesn't matter. Don't give up on your dreams. So I got this one right here, 177 mental toughness.
Yes.
You got this one?
People, I love that book.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you got to build a tough skin. You got to do for you and look out for yourself. And we have this saying, trust but verify. And so, you trust somebody, and that's what you do. You call on it because it benefits you.
Exactly.
Yep. So those are was that 5 books for now? I actually have a whole stack of books on, but that's enough reading for you guys.
Yeah, that is great. another book I would like to add is another book by Robert Kiyosaki. It's called Conspiracy of the Rich.
Oh, yeah. He's the same guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yes. That book
That's
is
the same
heavy.
guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wrote Rich
Now, I
Dad,
got a
Poor
lot
Dad.
of books on my. Yes, I can email you that stuff, Diane, or anyone else who wants the books. But if you got Amazon and you got a Kindle reader, some of those are free. So you can download them and just do the Kindle reader. That's what I like to do.
Now, Janina Wright, how can everyone access get in contact with you?
I am on Facebook, but LinkedIn is awesome for them. Or okay, let me write down your email.
You're not playing around, is she?
Yeah, I'm listening. Something. Yeah. All right. So also, if you find me on LinkedIn, it's Janina Wright, Janina, and then WRIGHT, and you'll see my profile. And then, or you can message me through Facebook. I'm also on Twitter, Janina Wright, #6. And I have a Kindle. Yeah, I have a Kindle app on my phone. When I'm on the plane, I read the books on the plane. I love it. It's easy. And I think that's the easiest 3 ways you can reach out to me. Also, I'll give you my phone number. My phone number is 813-230-7243. And my email, I can give you my email. It's JAND as in dog, Z as in zebra, ION @gmail.com. And definitely reach out to me, and I can sit one-on-one. Like I said, not every strategy is for everyone, and that's okay. But as long as you have a roadmap, it helps you plan for your future. It guides to where you're going. You know, it shows you where you're going, because a lot of times people are in the blind and they don't even know where they're going until they've arrived. Yes. And by then it's too late. I actually was talking to one of my clients, 65-year-old man, and he basically asked me, what can you do for me? And I couldn't do anything other than recommend him the process on Medicaid, you know, because he didn't save anything. And it's unfortunate, but I'm at least able to recommend those options, you know, where I'm not turning somebody away. I'm saying, this is what your options is. You know, at this point, all you got is Medicare and you got Medicaid and Social Security, which wasn't much because he was self-employed and wasn't paying no Social Security tax. So kind of bit him there. But at least I couldn't sleep, I'll tell you, but at least I'm able to help and make some recommendations. And that is to me the most important. You know, walking away with some information is better than none.
I remember you gave me you told me a story about one person you were able to help, where they actually had much more money to put in, but still, you know, you were able to share with me how within a 10-year period, how you were able to get them $1 million.
Yeah, that I can discuss one-on-one, because I said not everyone's, you know, there's eligibility requirements, so not everyone is capable. But that is a possibility. Most people think that achieving $1 million in retirement is impossible, and that is not true. It's just putting your investment in the right vehicle and then understanding how your money compounds. And then also have the willpower to let it sit in there. You know, I mean, nothing is immediate. And I'm saying minimum of 10 years, right?
Right.
Okay. And so,
a lot of people think that it takes money to make money, but it actually takes guts to make money.
Yeah.
And have the right people in your corner. She just, Janina Wright just named 3 team members that we should all have in our financial corner: tax attorney, financial planner, and there was a third one was the financial advisor, right?
The lawyer. The lawyer,
right.
The accountant or CPA, and a financial planner. And the lawyer is mostly will protect your assets, help you with trust and stuff. Sometimes people feel like I don't need a trust because I don't have anything. But if you have property, if you have maybe a business, you know, it would be wise. And then sometimes, you know, you think maybe $100 is a lot, but in the long run, it may be worth it. So always having the three team members is the best strategy, but not everyone can, you know, can afford that.
Right.
So, you know, we work with everyone's needs, and my services are complimentary. So that's it.
Yeah, guys, her services are complimentary, so you don't need to pull money out of your pocket. All you have to have is seriousness, not interest, but seriousness. See, there's a difference. But when you're interested, you do what's convenient. When you're serious, you do what's necessary. So you only do for people who are necessary.
It's okay. Maybe they know somebody who's serious, you know, and that's fine.
That's right. That's right.
That's true. Because Sarah, they were selling ourselves, and it's all about referrals.
There you go. Referring as many as you can. We have Sarah Marie who came in and said, "What are we discussing?" She came in late. Sarah, you can always watch this video again. It's not going anywhere, but to try to catch you up real quick. We're talking about your money, how you can make your money work for you, and the difference between using a bank and using other options available to raise money for yourself, how you can lower interest rates, talking to your creditors and things like that. So we're talking about the things that you need to build your wealth.
Now,
and where you need to start.
Sorry, I apologize. I just remembered, tomorrow we're going to have a corporate overview. If anyone is interested, you're welcome to come. And I'll reach out to, I don't know how to get everyone's email address or how to get the information. Can you see it? Because I don't see it. Do you see their information? Maybe you can send it to me.
I see Diane Rozier, but she's in Maryland.
Oh, okay. You're in Maryland. That's all right, Diane. Well, I'll give you a caller.
Yeah, you might have to give her a call or email. Denise George, I can put information in her inbox.
Okay. Yeah, you can put my information in her inbox and she can reach out to me. That's fine.
Okay.
And then Sarah, sorry you came in late. If you want, you can, if you want to give her my info, or actually just give everybody my info if they're interested, give me a call. And then we can discuss it further, specific to the individuals.
Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions for Ms. Wright? Be sure. Okay, she says she will be watched. Okay, that's great. Great. Okay, sleep tight.
Yeah, good night.
We have plenty of people watching online, so if anybody else here have any questions, be sure to shoot your questions so we can get your questions answered. You can also, Janina Wright also have given her contact information too. For those of you, most of you have been on here already. I'm trying to pull up her information on my phone. Let me see something here. All right. You can reach her. What is your number again?
813-230-7243. And if I don't pick up, please just leave me a voicemail. I will return your call.
That's a phone number. So,
can you put my email too?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me make sure they get that. One sec. I gotta hide that. JN Zion.
Thank you, Regina.
Okay, JAN.
DZ.
Oh, it's a D.
Yeah, J and Zion.
Okay.
JANDZION @gmail.com.
This is Janina Wright's email address, folks. So be sure you get that as well. I'll leave it up for another 10 seconds before we can move forward. But make sure you get that information. JNZ. I'm sorry, J and Zion. JNZion
That's
at
how I say Jay
gmail.
and Zion. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Sarah sent me. Okay, cool. We get Sarah on. We get Sarah connected. So, folks, make sure you do. Make sure you email Mrs. Wright or call her so she can help you get your money set up.
And I'm actually looking for CPAs to be partners with, so that way, my clients, I can just transition them over to them. So if you know any CPA, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. There you go, folks. That's a win-win. So, no one have any questions? Come on, y'all. I know y'all can't be shy. Listen, when it comes to money and taxes, there's no such thing as dumb questions. Trust me. Money and taxes is one of the two hardest things that you can get down pat. Truly. So if you got somebody on in front of you who are licensed to do what they're doing, and when in regards to your money and your taxes, you need to ask questions, folks. Now, if it's personal, I understand. You don't have to ask that here on the forum. You do have her information where you can call her yourself or email her, and she will respond to you. So if it's personal, I get that. You don't have to put that out there. But general information you want to know, just ask, folks, because we're going to shut it down here. We already 7 minutes past our time. We normally keep this for 30 minutes, and I don't like to keep you guys long. So I'll give you guys 10 more seconds to ask the question before we shut it out. Mrs. Wright, let me see, I don't know, do you have any travel coming up pretty soon? In case somebody might be in a particular area?
Yes, but that's not till November so far. So, but I do travel to a lot of states. I am licensed in several states as well. So if you feel like you're out of reach and you're not in Tampa, don't think that at all. I'm licensed in several states, so I can definitely help you out.
Will you be going to like Maryland or DC or anything like that?
Actually, my friend just wrote a book, and I ordered it, and I told her I had to go up there and get it signed, and she is in that area. So
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I was planning a trip in September, just for a few days.
Okay.
Get up there.
Okay.
Not concrete. So
cool. My sister-in-law, Diane Rozier,
okay.
Denise George. Yep, Denise George and Leslie White.
Okay.
They are in the DC area. Now,
okay.
I do have Don Callahan here. Now, this is gonna be a hard one. At least I hope it's not anyway. Don Callahan is in Canada.
Oh, that's fine. We have associates in Canada, Puerto Rico as well. Boom, got
nice.
you.
Don Callahan, I hope you got Mrs. Wright's information so that you can email her if you have any questions.
Yeah, if he tells me what part of Canada, because we have associates up there, so I can definitely connect him with somebody up there. And actually, my family is up in Montreal.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well, Don Callahan, we got everybody covered then. From Canada all the way down to the States. So we got everybody covered. I'm glad that everybody that's on here is in an area where they can be helped. So that's great. So folks, listen, that is all of our time. I'm going to let you guys get ready to
thank you for
get
having
your day going. Yes. Hey folks, listen, before we end, I want you guys to do me one last huge favor. And that is to sing like no one can hear you, dance like no one can see you, love like you've never been hurt, and live like it's heaven on earth. This is Janina Wright, and I'm Jay Lee. We love you, and the world needs you. So stop that damn texting and driving. Peace and blessings, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's so true. Bye. Thank you.